welcome to another Rob and Claire's Big Wild French Carp Fishing Adventure. And here we are, back again as promised at Lac Du Salagou. Try and do it properly this time, minus about 15 degrees of heat from last time. Although it's pretty warm today, it's probably touching 30 degrees today. It's going to get a little bit more stormier and windy a bit later on, so a bit more comfortable. So it's Tuesday the 1st of October, about 3:30 in the afternoon. We arrived here last night, Monday afternoon, and spent the whole afternoon looking around the lake, bumped into a few English anglers, and finally decided where we would fish. So we are now on the side of the big mountain. I can't even remember what you call it again now. I will tell you later. I should learn Salagou really. And a lot of water to our south. Right on the point here we can fish right out to our left and also straight out, so we can cover an awful lot of water. And so since we've been here, since last night, this morning, it seemed that it was alive with fish. Didn't get the rods out until a few hours ago, but we're still seeing the odd one or two good fish jump in on the area the rods are on. So it really does look great for a few bites in the next 24 hours. So like I said, we finally got set up, like we got here last night. Finally got the camp set up just on dark. I didn't bother even going out in the boat to look for marks and all the rest of it. Just concentrated on getting the camp ready, having something to eat and drink, and getting a good night's sleep. So refreshed this morning to put all our effort into finding some really good marks, and I'm really happy with what we got out here. We've got rods ranging in depths from about sort of 12-13 foot down to about 57 feet. So we've got all the options covered and different parts of the lake. So you know, should be good. Just put a good light amount of bait in, and certainly haven't overdone it. And you know, so if there's fish in the area willing to get the reds down, there's no reason why we shouldn't have a few bites. So weather's going to turn around, I think, later on today. We've had a great window of opportunity getting here, by the way. The wind's dropped off to less than sort of 5-6 miles an hour last night, and was in the lee of the wind anyway. The wind was blowing the other way from the northwest, so it was easy to get here. So no issues with overloading the boat and nearly sinking this time. It was a very pleasant experience getting to the swim. But that's all going to change. Wind's going to turn around to the northwest. We're going to have winds gusting up to 45 kilometers an hour, about 30 mile an hour. So I think this time tomorrow might be a slightly different picture. So I'm not going to go on any further. I'm going to leave it as it is now, and maybe catch up with you this evening or when we catch a fish. Good evening. It's now about, I know, 7 o'clock in the evening, Tuesday the 1st of October. So obviously second night here, but first night of fishing. Rods have only been out for 5 hours, 6 hours, and it looks good. Seen a couple of big fish jump very close to my marks over in deepish water, 50+ foot. We've had a scorching afternoon with temperatures, well, feel like factor of over 30 degrees, but it says 28 degrees. And then a few hours ago, storm started rolling in around the valleys behind us. We've had a nice refreshing bit of rain for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and now the rain's gone and the wind's picked up and turned around to a northwesterly as predicted, and I think that's the way it's going to stay now. So yeah, it looks good. It looks carpy. Nice overcast night with a bit of cloud, with this bit of rain. If there's anything like it was this morning, there was a lot of fish moving around here this morning. Hopefully we should get something. So just going to enjoy our paella tonight. If you haven't tried them before, they are worth a go. Tesco's paella. Lovely. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This thing is huge. Bought it from the bank. It's well, it's about, I'd estimate it. I have got a tape measure because I bought my tool bag. So it's about 1 metre 70.
That
look alright?
Yeah.
So I can screenshot that.
Yeah, that's alright, babe.
1 metre 70.
Okay.
Huge. Right, I'm going to unhook him if I can. And let him go. Oh, there you go.
Mind your light, babe. Don't let him flip that over.
There he goes. Let him go now, babe. Oh, he's me. Right. Good morning. October the 2nd, about 2:30 in the morning, and as you just seen, that horrible big slimy catfish. Well, at least it was a new PB at least anyway. So yeah, what about just about over 1 metre 70, mega fat. So I don't know if that's £100 or not. I'm not sure. So a few of you out there will know. Cracking evening. Oh yeah, all the clouds cleared now. Bright, starry night again. Winds turn around now to the northwest, as it said. Pretty brisk, blowing out in the lake. Could have gone out and landed the cat from the boat if I wanted to. It's not that bad out there. But it was in between other lines, so it probably ended up in tears, got tangled up in the other rods, so I thought it was best. I knew what it was straight away, so I thought it was best just to go for it from the bank. So yeah, looking forward to the morning now really, and see if these carp start showing like they did yesterday morning. So on that note, going to have a cup of tea now with Claire, and see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Wednesday, October the 2nd. It's about 9:45 in the morning. Nothing else to report really. Weather's changed exactly as predicted by AccuWeather, and the wind's changed around now to a quite a fierce 20-30 km/h wind, gusting up to 50. Going to be bright sunshine today. So yeah, nice to have all the rods out in position, all apart from the one with the catfish on last night. I didn't bother putting that back out. Just had a little lift and dropped back down on my far right, on my right hand rod, in about 35 foot of water. It was about this time yesterday, while I was still setting up rods and everything, that we started to see a lot of carp move out here, all within this area really, all within about 300 yards of where I'm fishing now, and you know, a number of them just on the sort of around the 50 to 60 foot mark, which is where I've got quite a few of my rods. So we're all in position. It's looking good. They say Salagou only fishes well on a good wind. We've certainly got a good wind, although we're in the back of it in this weird little eddy here where the wind comes around from the arms hacking down the lake, and we're just sat in this little sort of eddy of wind here where it's not really, it's sort of just swirling around and getting these really quite spectacular whirlwinds picking up the water. Quite impressive. Just a little walk around the corner here, so you can see we're in prime position here, fishing the mouth of the bay, Wesson Bay, I think you call it. We're on Rowans. We're on a peninsula of Rowans really. And then this is looking back up. We've got rods just down here in the margins. So if there's anything coming in into this bank, then we should be lucky. Just trying to find my marker, but I think one of my markers has disappeared already. There's the surprise. Good morning, Thursday morning, just gone midnight, and I've got a new PB catfish. This one's 1.90 m. Best I can do. I thought it was the same fish.
Quick, baby, battery's about to go.
But this one's 15 centimetres bigger, close to the magic 2 metre mark, which I know's big. That look alright, babe?
Yeah, you're both in it.
Catfish king of Salagou. Right.
Off you go, you slimy creature.
Look at the state of that. I got me, I'm not a catfish fan. Well, that is quite impressive. Oh shit. But leave that, I'll sort that out in a sec. A bit windy today. That was going to go flat and charge up last night after the catfish. But now Thursday morning, about 10:30 in the morning I suppose. Quiet night after that. Just in the process of putting the other rods back out. And this boy is doing a bit of practice. Put the wind up me when I went back out after I thought he'd gone, and he come back round again. Thought, should I be out there or not? But here he goes. They're practicing. Quite obviously, I'd imagine. Impressive sight. Look at that. There he goes. Good afternoon. It's Thursday the 3rd of October, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and not much to report fishy wise in the since that monster catfish last night of I said it was 190 centimetres, which I've been reliably informed is got to be around the 120 to 130 pound mark. So that's big. Apart from that, I spoke to a couple of English gents over the other side on Andy Little Point, and they've had a few, and one in particular of 60 pounds. Absolutely impressive. And he's reliably informed me that he's caught it in a depth of 40 feet on fish meal, and they've had a number of fish between around sort of 30 to 40 feet. So there we go, hopefully a valuable piece of information there, and a bit more confidence to go at something with a little bit more purpose. So I moved two of the rods in that I caught with the catfish on last night, which incidentally one was in close to 50 foot and the other one was in 57 foot. So there you go. Obviously a little bit too deep, and that's just where the catfish want to be. So I moved one in 40 foot, and within about an hour I had a bream of about 3 pounds. So, you know, if bream want to be there, carp want to be there too. So there we go on that. But apart from that, it's been a little bit of a testing morning. Anything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. Starting off by dropping my very expensive vape in the water this morning, so that's all been stripped to bits and drying out. Luckily Claire's got a little backup one, so I'm not going to be clucking in a few hours time. And then I was messing about with my solar, just swapping them over, charging a couple of other batteries, and I didn't realise last night that one of my solar panels I'd put on the wrong way around, positive to negative and negative to positive. Didn't do the actual the little box any good, whatever you call it, and so it fried the box. And also, as soon as I put the other one on it, of course it blew that one as well. And then after that I realised my other solar panel wasn't working either, so I was wondering why my power pack wasn't charging very well, and now I know why. So after a little bit of a chat with a good friend of mine, Ross Turner, we discussed it, and he said that I can actually bypass the solar panel, whatever you call it,
Circuit board.
the circuit board, or the actual name of it is the controller, sorry, one of them, which the back of it looks like that now. It shouldn't look like that. So you can bypass that and just go direct from the solar panel to the battery. Not advisable, you have to keep an eye on it because there's a massive possibility of overcharging, but at least it's cured the problem, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we should still have power on all the batteries. So yeah, a little bit testing, but we worked around it and compromised, which is quite often the case when you're out here, you know, right out in the middle of nowhere with no outside help. You have to sort of make do and, you know, MacGyver stuff together, and that's what we've had to do yet again. So yeah, all the rods are in really reasonably good condition, varying from anything from around 20 foot up to about 43 foot, so I feel really confident. If they're catching fish on Andy Little Point, which is opposite me and a little bit further upwind from where I'm fishing, there's no reason why I shouldn't catch here. Right, good afternoon. Or evening. Friday the 4th of October, about 6:30 in the evening. Not really much to report really after a tremendous brace of catfish. Feel like I might have got it a little bit wrong in the last sort of 48 hours. It's been a little bit windy, positioning the rods, and it shelves off so quickly in big steps that one minute you can be fishing, you know, 10 metres you can be fishing 35-40 foot of water, another 15 metres you can be fishing nearly 60 feet of water. I don't know how depth critical it is here at the minute. I've been told by a couple of people sort of around the 40 foot mark, 35 foot mark seems to be the magic depth at the minute. Now, you know, I've been spreading my rods all over the place anyway, so whether my 40 foot rods have been in 50 foot, I don't know. You know, it's been a bit difficult, so it's been a bit of a mystery really. I'm not massively confident I've been fishing this area the correct way, but I think if there was carp in the area, I think I would have still had something, because, you know, I've been fishing 8 rods in totally different depths of water. So I don't know, I think I'm just clutching at straws. You know, coming into the 4th night of fishing here now, and no sign of anything. The lads over on Andy Little Point, I've just had a text from them, and they haven't had anything now for the last over 24 hours as well. So I just think it's a case, if you're on fish and it's presented reasonably well, you're going to catch them. Simple as that. But you know, we're doing our best still, pulling out all the stops. What we can do is hope something turns up and gets down on the bait. Heard a few fish way off to my right last night. And that's about it really. Really nothing else to say. A couple of other French anglers, they've moved swims, and then Clare, when I spoke to him briefly, went on a walk a little while ago, and all I'd had was one catfish as well. on that note, I'm going to call it a night and catch up with you guys hopefully sooner rather than later.
Oh my god, mate. So windy out there. It's so windy. Come on, landing, babe. Yay! That was a battle. Well done, babe. Yeah. Wow.
Saturday the 5th of October at 9 o'clock this morning. I was snoozing away when all of a sudden I heard the sound of the alarm and Clare's voice at the same time, making a dive for my margin rod. Tried to extract it from the rod pod, and I was into an absolute belting run. Only fished about 20 yard out in about 24 foot of water on tiger nut. And what a fish to do it in, and what a place to do it in. So it's a bit lively still, but in the retaining slack only for 10 minutes, which is such a long fight, just to give it a bit of strength back and see if we can lift it up now. Cannot believe it. After 4 days, Carp been done. 55 and 3/4, over 25 kilos from Salagou. Wow. Okay. Photographs. So, good afternoon. It's now about 3:30 on Saturday the 5th of October, and we've just done our 4th night. So, just thought I'd recap after that amazing carp this morning. It's been a big learning curve, and sometimes can be a mistake going on what other people say and other people's results and all the rest of it, and sometimes you're better off coming here with a completely blank mind and just working it out from yourself. Otherwise you tend to perhaps put all your eggs in one basket to a term and not work it out. So we've gone back to that theory a little bit after the 3rd night, I think, although I haven't seen any carp about much. I sort of think I've gone too deep. So yesterday I repositioned all the rods, all 8 rods, redone all the bait, ready to sit it out for at least another 48 hours, and then if nothing had have happened, we would have moved, and I'd have probably went down onto that bank a little bit further down towards the dam, or maybe onto Mount Red On, or the mountain straight across in front of us. So we didn't need to do it. 9 o'clock this morning, obviously we had that run and managed to land it, and it was like it is now. Pop up around the corner here, that's my marker just there, look, if you can see it, somewhere there it is. It's just literally 25 yard out there, and it's a real steep shelf. And 5 yards further out you could be fishing in 25 foot, and then 5 yards further out you could be in nearly 40 foot of water, or 35 foot of water, something like that. So place that one out. It was originally in 17 feet. It was a bit rocky, a bit snaggy, didn't really feel right. It was a bit of a desperation one, put it somewhere shallower, it weren't perfect. So last night went back out there and noticed it just slopes off beautifully on a ledge, and then back down and levels out to sort of about 23, 25 foot before it goes off down again into sort of 34, 35 foot plus. Thought, right, that's a good one, and it sort of comes off along the far margin here behind us, and it's just off the edge of that point there, sort of a really good spot, you'd think, really. And that was on a big tiger nut string, 2 giant tiger nuts. Well, 4 giant tiger nuts with a trimmed down yellow northern special in between, just to take the weight of it off a little bit of a sight spot there as well. Pulled in all the other rods a lot last night, thinking I think I was fishing too deep, deeper than I thought I was fishing anyway. Difficult to get good depths, accurate depths in a wave. It was so difficult, and it turns out I was fishing in closer to 50 foot of water than I was 40 foot of water, which is where I wanted to be. So I've now managed to pull them in a lot closer. Got another rod on tiger nut down my far right hand margin, which is right down there, and there's a big rocky outcrop out there, and the weed grows on top of it, sort of down there about 120 yards. So I'll put one on that. So the weather's going to be pretty much the same at the minute, I think. Might be calming off a little bit this evening, but I must say the water seems to have coloured up a little bit. It looks a lot better. You look into the water and it's not so gin clear anymore, which means the fish will have a little bit less perception to pick out rigs and stuff like that. Beautiful place though. Can't get much more wilder than this. Very few anglers on it. I don't know how many. It's over 3,000 acres, I believe, and I don't think there's any more than a dozen anglers on the whole place. And I've got this whole area in front of us, as far as the eye can see, all to myself. That's proper carp fishing. Beautiful.
8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and Rob's out there playing a fish.
Morning. Sunday the 6th of October, about 8 o'clock in the morning, and just had another run from a carp and lost it, got cut off. So had another run last night as well on one of the other deeper water rods in about sort of 38 feet of water. Pretty much 100% it was a catfish. Pretty much a lot of bucking and kicking sort of straight away. It could have only been a catfish really. Snagged me up, went out of there and broke the lead core. So had another good steady run today, this morning. Just went off, line was peeling off just nice, just looked like a carp. Felt nice, went out in the boat and yeah, again just got snagged again, and sort of went around a couple of different ways to try and hopefully the main line will ping off of what it is, and didn't put too much pressure on before it just cut off, and cut off well above my shock leaders. I use a 60 pound an 80 pound 60 foot of 80 pound Power Pro, and then I use another 60 odd foot of spider wire 60 pound braid, and then the 30 pound braided mainline, and it cut on above that, so good 100 foot up the line. So going to have to install these little things now. Never really had to use them before, so I've made these up, knowing it is very snaggy in here, lots of sunken vines and all the rest of it. These, so put those on the line with a power gum stop knot and a bead about 30 foot from your lead, and then obviously that elevates the line sort of more directly up and out the way of any of these little sunken vines and shrubbery and stuff like that. So probably should have installed it straight away, but I suppose at least I have been prepared and knocked up about a dozen of these, and this will eliminate the problem. Anyway, the take came on a mark that I've been sticking with for the since I've been here. You see, that's 5 nights we've been here now, and it's a mark, and there's an old ruin out there, as we found out from the book from Clare's been looking through the Lac Du Salagou book with details. She said, oh, we've got a ruin out here, and I thought, oh, I saw that on the Echo Sounder. There you go, wasn't doing my own work enough. So I've been sticking with it. I've been trickling bait in every day, and that's a good spot, and sure enough, that's been the spot that's gone. So that's seen a lot of bait over the period of 5 days, and finally a carp's moved in on it, or carps, and we've had a take. So and everything going against Salagou rules, really. Flat calm. It's been a flat calm night. No wind at all. Absolutely like a mill pond. Not Salagou carp catching conditions. And there you go. Just as the sun's coming up, similar time to that one yesterday. And out of the blue we've had one. So you can never say never. You never quite know when you're going to catch one. So yeah, there we go. Fingers crossed. So obviously after that carp yesterday, we've now got 3 on tigers now. So got the original rod, got one out on a mark over there and one on a new mark, right off in on a really snaggy weedy outcrop about 100 yards down to my right. Looks really good in about 27 foot of water as well. So feeling like we're tuning in a little bit. I spoke to the guys over on Andy Little Point yesterday, and they hadn't had a fish now for about 36 hours. So since Adam had his 60 pounder, scrape of 60, he hasn't had anything else. So we're doing all right now. So fingers crossed. There's the sun coming up on another cracking day. Wind's going to get up again today, so enjoy this peace while it lasts, before we have the wrath of a fierce northwesterly wind again hacking down the lake. So there we go. On that note, gonna have a cup of tea and I'll catch up with you guys later. That's a proper carpy sky to catch one under, isn't it?
Yeah. Well done, babe.
Common.
Oh, common.
Yeah, nice day. Yeah, that's a 20.
Lovely.
Absolutely beautiful. What a fight. Right. Wow. Good evening. Out of the blue. Sunday the 6th, 7 o'clock in the evening, and just got everything all tidied away for the night. It's looking a little bit real proper gloomy, heavy low cloud. It looks really good, but don't get many takes in the evening, very few. And after having 2 carp takes in the morning, you sort of start to sort of assume that it's going to be bite time in the morning, and all of a sudden this one's ripped off and out of the blue, lovely common, just over 31 pounds, and it's been, I caught it on a double 20mm spicy squid mussel hook bait. There we go, look at that, what a beauty.
Lovely looking fish.
Yeah, certainly is, in about 38 feet of water. Baits that I redone probably about midday-ish, something like that. After losing the one this morning, because I cut off, I bought some polyballs with me, and after a little bit of fine tuning, because they were a bit too big, I put those on, and this fish kited 50, 60 yards, 70 yards right from there, right the way around. So if I don't think I had polyball on, I don't think I'd have possibly had problems. There we go. Come on that side. Kneel down a little bit. Really want that. It's number 2, no fluke now. It looks even bigger now. Awesome. Good afternoon and welcome to a very windy afternoon. It's October the 7th, Monday October the 7th, about 12:30 in the afternoon, and since our that nice common we caught yesterday evening just on dusk, it's been a bit quiet. Good night's sleep. Woke up this morning at about 6:30 and just sat out watching the water. Seen a few fish move today. A couple were close to my area, and then a few right out in the middle of nowhere in really deep water, just let clear of the water. So this big wind is certainly stirring them up. Obviously losing a couple of catfish as well due to cut-offs, as well as that carp. It was adopted in the rigs. I knew this might be a problem here. So fishing polyballs, anchored up with just a little bit of silicone rubber on the main line, about sort of 15 foot above above the lead really, and that just helps elevate the line well above all the old vines and shrubbery which might be down there, and rocks and zebra mussels. And as a result, that common last night, that was it was no issue at all. The line hadn't caught on anything, and it was very straightforward. And I do wonder if sometimes I couldn't adopt that tactic a little bit more on the fishing on some of the other barrages. So although it doesn't really provide much of a problem on a lot of the other places to fish, this place is an extreme in many ways, with the terrain underneath the water as well as the weather. So I've had one fish now on 4 giant tiger nuts with a trimmed down 15mm Northern Special in the middle, and then we've had 2 takes now on a different mat out into sort of more open water in about 38 to 40 foot of water, both on double spicy squid gooed up mussel baits, 20mm mussel baits. So yeah, and I had a bit of an occurrence earlier on another rod out on a different mark out in about 40 foot of water, and the rod just whacked round and the alarm sounded and the bobbin dropped off, but that was it, nothing happened. So whether that was a carp got away with it or whether it was a bream, who knows, could be anything. So you know, I've got a feeling it's possibly a carp that got away with it, having seen a few fish, a couple of fish jump at the back of the swim only an hour before. So yeah, it was pretty violent. You know, the rod fishing at a bit of an angle on that right hand rod, and the rod just whacks around real hard. So yeah, not putting in masses of huge amounts of bait, and I've probably used about 20 kilos of boilies so far in 5 nights of fishing, and a good couple of buckets of particles, maize, tiger nut and such like. So yeah, so that's about it. It's about all I've got to say is Clare creeps by me and thinking about going to the shops shortly and just picking up a few fresh provisions, bread, beer, a few other bits and pieces later on this afternoon, which is normally a quiet period. So on that note, I should say cheerio and catch up later on. About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, still on a Monday, and it's wild out here. I'm still going out there, and sod's law it'll be while we're cooking an early lunch. Sweet sour chicken, extra pineapple, with the wonderful Clare. We're on a Monday afternoon, and it's just getting stronger. Now look at this, just out to the next mark.
Number do we have today then, lover?
That daily visit from the water plane. Always banking over. Ah, 34 again. Number 34. Yeah, it's just sussing the area out. And he'll be round in a minute to make a big old splash today. Boom!
Bloody cow, he's coming straight for us, babe.
Friday afternoon, and a little bit of a change from this morning when the ski plane come over. Got a nice southeast breeze coming in as predicted, and even more impressive is the cloud, big bank of cloud coming in now from the south as predicted as well. We're going to get this cloudy, dull, windy weather, well, dull, rainy weather. Looks good. Quite impressive sight coming in over the mountains.
Clever, is it?
What's that?
Putting the bread all on the raw meat.
Isn't it?
No. Raw meat as well.
Really? Sorry about that.
I'm not eating that now.
No, okay.
These maggot fries.
Yeah.
Rob, it's all fucking frozen.
Well, that's the whole idea of putting it in a freezer, isn't it?
Fucking hungry. Why isn't there nothing I can eat now? Pam. Everything's raw. I don't want to be cooking. Ooh, that's yeah, I'll have some of Life's too hard.
Hey?
Life's too hard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
It is when you ain't got a man that won't do it for you. You better not be recording me.
What?
Put that fucking thing down.
What thing? What are you on about? Oh yeah, I am recording you, sorry. Yeah, I thought it was funny. A bit of comedy gold.
Shut up. No comedy about it. Thank you, Mr. Bengal.
Found something you like?
Yeah, I'm eating all this to myself.
All that to yourself?
Yeah, I'm starving.
Good evening, Friday the 10th, about 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's taken all afternoon for that big bank of cloud that we saw to finally make its way over to us. And looking over in the distance, you can see it's looking a little bit blacker. We've got this lovely southeasterly wind coming right into us here, off this peninsula here. Good afternoon, Saturday the 12th of October, about 1:30 in the afternoon. Nothing to report, a very quiet night again. As you can see from yesterday, that big cloud bank moved in, and through the night it started to rain and the wind got back up again. It was flat calm up until about 1 o'clock when I went to bed. There wasn't a movement anywhere, and but went to bed and woke up in the night with the wind and the rain. Finally arrived as predicted, and it looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic out there, and I'm still miffed as to why still not had anything. I just cannot believe that over this period there isn't more carp visiting the spot. Now there's only one other possibility, again probably splitting hairs, clutching at straws, I don't know, but I do know the importance of depth can be critical. And you know, through the beginning of the session with those catfish, I was fishing in deeper water, 50 foot plus of water, 48 foot plus of water, and even though the few carp I've been catching have been in between about 37 to 41 feet of water, it put me off of going back deep again. Just didn't want to catch more bloody catfish. And other people I've talked to have been saying, oh, 40 foot seems to be the magic number, and so it seemed to be. But I've gone way out beyond my markers now, and found where it drops off from about sort of goes out to about 46 feet, 47, and it drops off, little drop off into 50 foot. And on the first rod I put back out, I put it out further onto that drop off. It was totally different bottom. It wasn't this sort of perhaps a hard thud on the bottom, but it was a real soft, couldn't feel the lead hit the bottom. So of course, as soon as I felt that, I left that rig where it was. That was in about 49 foot of water, put a bit of bait around it, just enough to get the interest of a couple of carp and get a bite. And then I've done the same with the other middle rod, in between the two markers, and again found about 50 foot of water, but a little bit harder, but still not a massive thud compared to a bit shallow. So we've got this is the right hand bank of rods, by the way, so the two outer rods are in about 42, 43 foot of water, well, what about takes from, and the others are in 10 foot, nearly 10 foot deeper in I feel a little bit better lake bed. Left the other four rods as they are. They're in sort of working more marginal drop-offs, and anything from about sort of 17-18 foot down to about 43 foot again. You know, all the baits are fine. You know, they've been out there sort of 36, nearly 2 days, and you know they're absolutely fine. They'd certainly do another night. Interestingly, they haven't been touched by the craze this time. Bit strange. Right, what day are we on?
Saturday.
Is it still Saturday, just about? Must be getting off midnight.
I don't know what time it is.
Saturday or Sunday morning, around midnight anyway. And just, as we're getting a bit despondent, thinking about leaving tomorrow to beat the big winds coming in. This powerhouse has ripped off at about 30 miles an hour. It runs so fast, I jumped in the boat, went to follow it, and my electric outboard couldn't even keep up with it, and as a result I ended about, I don't know, about 100 yards past my marker. I was about 350 yards down the lake, something like that, probably more. It just kept going and going and going. Absolutely beautiful. Just a shade over 35 pounds. So biggest common trip so far. Absolutely beautiful. Caught on double 20mm bottom bait, so smaller baits. Dipped in the old spicy squid goo, or rather soaked in it. Bit of a gnarly old warrior again. Got a few stories to tell. Mouth ain't the best on this one. Nothing to do with me. My hook was firmly planted in the bottom lip, but this one has had a few problems, few tails to say. There we go. Beautiful, very, very grateful. And what a fight. Nice to really earn your fish with a bloody good scrap after sitting for, well, we'll say it's about nearly 3 days again, I think, since that last one. So yeah, over the moon, as I think you can probably tell. Let's do a few photographs now. Good afternoon, it's Sunday the 12th of October. It must be getting on for around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. Nothing really more to report after that. Lovely mid-30 common last night around midnight. Redone these left-hand 4 banker rods a few hours ago. Baits untouched. Crayfish seem to have gone off the baits a bit weird that. Yeah, there we go. So it looks perfect, brilliant now. I don't know what the barometric pressure is, but it must be pretty low.
Monday morning, 8 o'clock, and the weather is rubbish. It's raining, it's dark, it's gloomy, but out there, the diddy dot out there, Rob's in, playing a fish. Oh, wonder if it's going to be any good. Hope so. Report back later when he comes in with hopefully a good carp.
Right, good morning. Wednesday the 14th of October, about 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock. And as you can see, we're packing up. Frustrating night last night. I had a series of savage little knocks and that on the rod. Wouldn't pull the line out of the clip or anything like that. Sometimes the bobbin would go down by a couple of inches or 3 inches and just stay there. So, liners, I don't know, Breen picking up the bait, snatching at it, I don't know. So the 4 days or so of this dull, low pressure weather has passed us now, and theory didn't work. So was possibly thinking about doing another week or so. We're going to turn up, we're going to pack up today, leisurely pack up today. Hopefully get somewhere near it by this evening. Crash for the night somewhere. Think about it tomorrow. So on that note, we've got an awful lot to do. As you can see, bit of a bomb site at the minute. Look at it. Bloody hell. I believe that packs down into 2 little boats, but it does. And get back to the slipway, where instantly on our walk yesterday it's been overtaken by Germans. So we can get in there with no problem. So yeah, at least we've got a good day to do it on. That was part of the plan. We knew it was going to be drying up today and all day tomorrow. Wednesday's going to be a real nice day. So a great transition, packing up, possibly setting up again somewhere completely different. So there we go. We're going to crack on now. Catch you later.